He boarded my cab with nothing but a smile, a suitcase, and a dream to surprise the love of his life. But what he found when we arrived shattered everything. I didn't mean to say it, but one careless comment from me changed his life forever. This is the story of how a cab ride revealed the ultimate betrayal. In the beginning was the word, but what happens when that word signals the end of everything? Can gold truly stand in for someone's soul in a battle for pride? Honestly, I feel regret. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Life isn't exactly great right now. But then again, is it ever easy for anyone? Everyone's just hanging on, clutching their jobs like lifelines. Same as I cling to my cab. They say I never turn down a ride. Funny thing is, fewer folks are hailing cabs these days. You hear these wild stories about cabbies getting caught up in bizarre stuff. Me? I think half of it's made up. Or maybe I just never catch the punchline. My passengers? Mostly ordinary people. Moms taking kids to the clinic. Shoppers juggling bags from the mall. And late at night, exhausted folks from the office, slumped over spreadsheets all day. These days, most people would rather pass out wherever they drank than bother calling a cab. But there was this one ride, a Monday I won't forget. It came through as an airport pickup. Normally, airport runs are golden, predictable, and they pay well. But this one had a twist. The drop-off was a remote cottage community way out of town. I could have said no, but I didn't. I accepted the fare. When I pulled up, a man in his 40s stepped into the car. There was something composed about him. Serious, but not in a grim way. A tidy layer of stubble, freshly trimmed hair, a dark coat that stopped just below the knees, paired with a scarf. Gave him a regal sort of edge. But it was his eyes, calm, kind, and the genuine smile that made him instantly likable. "Evening," he said, settling into the back seat. "Mind putting on some music? Haven't heard our local tunes in a while. Bring me up to speed on what's trending." I smiled. "I got you." I don't even know why I played along, but I did. He nodded. "I'm Daniel, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Daniel. I'm Mike." It became clear quickly. This was going to be one of those chatty rides. Daniel kept the conversation going as we rolled through the night. He gazed out the window, a nostalgic glint in his eyes. "You don't realize how much your native language means until you're far from home," he mused. "It's not my first trip abroad, 6th actually, but it never gets easier. Still, it's worth it. I brought gifts for my wife." He paused, his voice growing softer. "She's all I have, you know. Beautiful, inside and out. We've been married for 2 years. All she's ever wanted was a proper wedding, with a dress, doves, the fairy tale. I'm going to make it happen this time." He sighed. "I sacrificed a lot. Worked for years just to buy us a house. And then, just like that, my business collapsed. But I kept going, started from scratch. That's love, right? You keep fighting. And this week, I'm staying with her. I'm not letting go, not even for a second." There was something magnetic about him. His sincerity. His hope. It filled the cab like sunlight. This man was a dreamer. A fighter. And above all, he loved her. Finally, we reached the cottage village. Daniel leaned forward. "Turn right here. Second house on the left." I glanced at the place and said without thinking, "I think I know this house. I stayed with a guy from here once." It was just small talk. I didn't mean anything by it, but Daniel's face shifted. He paused, one foot already outside the cab. Then slowly he slid back in, closing the door gently. His cheerful vibe dimmed. "Wait," he said, trying to sound casual but clearly shaken. "Did you say you stayed here before?" I nodded, realizing too late where this was heading. "Yeah, just a young guy, though." Daniel leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Young guy? No one else should be here. Only my wife lives here when I'm away." He stared at me. "Can you describe him?" My gut twisted. I should have lied. But my mouth moved on its own. I gave him a vague description. Height, hair color, style. His expression froze. "That's her ex," he said after a pause. "Well, okay then." He smiled, but it was the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. He stepped out, grabbed his bags, and walked slowly toward the house. He stopped midway, staring at the ground, shoulders slumped. The lively man I'd met earlier, full of love and plans, was gone. I drove back toward the city in silence. His face burned into my memory. Guilt chewed at me. I hadn't meant to hurt him, but that one careless comment had shattered his world. At a gas station, I grabbed a coffee and sandwich, trying to clear my head. Was I the villain? Or just a bystander in someone else's tragedy? My phone buzzed. A new request? Same address. Big tip included. I didn't hesitate. I drove back, heart pounding. When I arrived, Daniel wasn't outside. Instead, a young woman, early 20s, messy hair, teary eyes, stood with two large suitcases. One gloved hand gripped her coat, the other was bare. She got into the car. "City Center," she muttered, voice trembling. I loaded her luggage and started the engine. Out the corner of my eye, I saw Daniel. He was at the window, gripping the sill like it was holding him up. Our eyes met. He gave me a faint nod, not angry, not bitter, just tired and thankful. The girl sat silently, staring out the window, her cheeks damp with tears. She'd betrayed a good man, invited her past into her present, and destroyed the future he was trying to build for them. Now she was leaving, and I could tell this wasn't a breakup. It was a collapse. When we reached the city, she stepped out without saying a word, and just like that, she was gone. As I drove off, I couldn't shake the feeling. Was I an unintentional villain or a messenger of truth? Whatever I was, I knew one thing for sure. Nothing would ever be the same for Daniel. So guys, if you liked today's story, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Some nights drag on long after the sun goes down. That Monday haunted me all week. I kept thinking about Daniel, his crushed smile, the broken man at the window, the nod that said everything he couldn't say. Was it gratitude or surrender? Days passed, then a full week. I tried to forget it, but I couldn't. I kept watching the app, wondering if I'd get another request from that area. Nothing. Until Friday night. A new ping. Private request? No name. Just a location. Same cottage village? Same house. My stomach flipped. I didn't think twice. I accepted. As I pulled up, the porch light was off and the house looked abandoned. But then, from the shadows, someone stepped forward. It was Daniel. His appearance shocked me. The neat, composed man was gone. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. His scarf was gone, his coat rumpled, and his hair a mess. But he smiled anyway. That same warm smile, only now it was tinged with something deeper. "Mike," he said quietly. "Glad you came." I nodded. "You doing okay?" He didn't answer right away. "Yeah," he finally said. "Number I don't know." He slipped into the passenger seat this time, not the back. "I need a ride, but not to the city," he added. "I want to go somewhere peaceful. Somewhere far. Think you can drive for a few hours?" "I've got time," I said. And we drove. Daniel didn't talk much. He stared out the window as towns turned into countryside and streetlights faded behind us. After a while, he spoke. "She left a note," he said, voice hoarse. Said she was confused, that she didn't mean for things to go that far, that it was just closure. Closure? He laughed bitterly. "She packed up, called a cab, and left me with memories of a life I built on trust. You know, I never once doubted her. Not once." He turned to me. Is that foolish? Or just love in its purest form? I didn't know how to answer. "I was going to propose again," he said. "A vow renewal. Make it official with the wedding she always dreamed of. I even had the ring." He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Opened it. Inside was a simple, elegant ring. A single sapphire. It caught the faint moonlight like a secret. I carried this with me for weeks. Silence followed. The road hummed beneath us. "Funny thing," Daniel said, "I'm not angry. I should be, but I'm not. I'm just hollow." Eventually, I pulled into a quiet lakeside area. I knew a place cabbies sometimes go when they need to breathe. The lake shimmered under the stars. Daniel got out and walked to the water's edge. I stayed back, giving him space. He stood there for a long time. Then he did something I didn't expect. He tossed the ring into the lake. No hesitation, no drama, just release. Then he turned back to the car and said, "Let's go back." As we drove, he looked lighter, like a man who had finally put something to rest. Before I dropped him off at a small inn on the outskirts of the city, he turned to me and said something I'll never forget. "Thanks, Mike. You didn't just drive me, you woke me up. Maybe everything had to break for me to see clearly. I'll be okay, someday." He stepped out, shut the door, and walked inside without looking back. That was the last time I saw Daniel, but not the last time I thought of him. Because sometimes, life sends you passengers who leave more than footprints on your back seat. They leave lessons and scars and stories you'll never forget. So guys, if today's story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Some rides feel like freedom. Others feel like a trap. That night when Jessica slammed the door and told me to take her to the city center, I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. I'd seen the kind of pain she carried, the swollen eyes, the jittery hands, the way she kept biting her lip like she was punishing herself for something she couldn't undo. For the first 10 minutes, the silence was thick. Then suddenly she spoke. "He's a good man, you know." I glanced at her in the mirror. She was staring out the window like she was trying to talk to the night, not to me. "I don't expect you to understand, but I didn't plan any of this." She sniffled, clutching her coat tighter. "I was lonely, that's all. I didn't think it would go that far. My ex, he just showed up one day when Daniel was away. Said he missed me. Said he still loved me, and for a second, I believed it." She turned to face me then, her voice cracking. "But he was lying. He just wanted to ruin something good. And I let him. I kept driving, letting her talk. I thought Daniel would never find out. We were supposed to go shopping for wedding venues next week. Can you believe that? And now," she trailed off. "We pulled into the city. She asked me to drop her at a motel, not a nice one either. She paid in cash and got out slowly, dragging her suitcases like they weighed her down more than usual. But just as she was about to walk away, she turned back to me. 'Do you think he'll ever forgive me?' I didn't know how to answer, but I told her the truth. I think Daniel will heal. Whether forgiveness comes or not, that's between him and time." She nodded, tears spilling again. Then she walked away. That was the end of her story, at least for me. Or so I thought. I was back to my routine, picking up regulars, dropping off the usuals. But one day, I got a call, direct, not through the app. "Hey, is this Mike the cabbie?" the voice asked. "Yeah, who's this?" "It's Daniel." I sat up straight. "Hey, man, it's been a while. You all right?" He chuckled softly. "Better than I thought I'd be. I've been volunteering at a shelter. Needed a break from everything. Clears my head." "That's good," I said. "Really good." "Listen," he continued, "I never got to thank you properly. That night, your words hit harder than you know. You were the pebble, yeah, but maybe the avalanche needed to happen." I was quiet for a beat. "Are you back in town now?" "Yeah, and I've got a strange request." "Shoot." "There's someone I think you should meet." I picked up Daniel outside the shelter the next evening. To my surprise, he looked great. Clean-shaven, dressed casually with an easy smile. But even more surprising, he wasn't alone. Standing beside him was Jessica. Not the crying mess I'd seen weeks ago, but a softer version. Eyes clear, posture strong, her hair pulled back neatly. They both got into the back seat. "You're probably wondering what this is," Daniel said with a small smile. I nodded. "We're not back together, but we're trying to heal, not for romance. Just as people. We both needed to own our mistakes." Jessica leaned forward. "He wrote me a letter, said he forgave me, not to fix things, but so we could both move forward. And I've been attending counseling, getting help. I'm working on myself." They looked at each other, not like lovers, but like survivors of the same storm. "Mike," Daniel said, "you saw the worst part of our story. We thought you should see this part too. The part where we didn't let it destroy us." I didn't know what to say. My throat tightened. So I just said, "Where to?" Daniel grinned. "Somewhere with good food. We owe you dinner." That ride was quiet but peaceful, full of something rare. Not love, not closure. Understanding. Some wounds don't close with stitches. They close with time, with honesty, with effort. And sometimes, with the help of a cabbie who talks too much. So guys, if today's story reminded you that healing is possible, no matter how messy life gets, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. You never know when the next ride might change everything. 2 months later, I got another request. This time from an event center near the harbor. It was raining hard that evening. The kind of rain that muffles sound and makes everything feel like a movie. When I pulled up, I didn't expect to see Daniel standing outside in a tailored suit holding an umbrella. But there he was, smiling like a man who had finally come to terms with everything. "You clean up well," I joked as he slid into the front seat. "Big day," he replied. "And no way I was going to take any other ride but yours." We drove in silence for a bit before he spoke again. "I met someone." I glanced sideways and he chuckled. "No, not Jessica. That chapter's closed. We're at peace, but we're not meant to be. This new woman, her name's Elena, she's gentle, thoughtful, doesn't try to fix me, just walks beside me. Sounds like a blessing." "She is," he said softly. He pulled out a small envelope and handed it to me. "What's this?" I asked. "An invitation. I'm proposing to her tonight. Thought you should be there if you're free. After all, you were there when everything fell apart. Seems right you see it come together again." I was speechless. We reached the restaurant where the proposal was happening. He got out, but not before looking back at me. "Mike, thank you for not shutting up that night." He walked off into the glowing lights of the building, umbrella in one hand, the ring box in the other. That night, I didn't drive right away. I sat in the car and just thought. You see, being a cabbie isn't just about driving. It's about witnessing people's rawest moments, the in-betweens, the breakups, the reunions, the silent stares, and the emotional phone calls. I think of Jessica, how she left broken but returned stronger, more self-aware. I think of Daniel, how his heart was shattered but still had the courage to love again. And then I think of myself. For a long time, I thought I was just the guy behind the wheel, a witness, a background extra in everyone else's drama. But now I realize I was part of the story too. I didn't just observe it, I changed it. Maybe by accident, maybe by fate. Either way, I mattered. So wherever you are, if life feels messy or hopeless, remember, people heal. Stories evolve, love returns in new forms, and sometimes all it takes to shift everything is one ride, one word, one moment of truth. So guys, if you were moved by Daniel's journey, Jessica's redemption, and the unexpected role I played in their lives, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press that bell icon, because you never know. The next story might be yours. Thanks for watching. Until the next ride, stay safe, stay kind. Moral of the story. Truth, no matter how small, carries power. Sometimes a single honest word, spoken without malice, can change lives. Mike didn't set out to expose anyone, but his accidental truth opened Daniel's eyes and forced Jessica to confront her own choices. Love requires honesty, not just devotion. Daniel gave everything to his relationship, but love built on secrets cannot stand. True love is not just about sacrifice, it's also about transparency and trust. Closure is painful, but it opens the door to healing. Daniel's heartbreak led him to new beginnings. It hurt, but it made space for someone who would love him without betrayal. Jessica, too, had to face the consequences of her choices and perhaps find herself again. We all play roles in each other's lives, even unknowingly. Mike was just a cab driver, yet his presence and words became the catalyst for transformation. Never underestimate the impact you may have on someone else's story. Life doesn't always follow our plans, but it always moves forward. What seems like the end could be the start of something more meaningful. Heartbreak, Regret and pain aren't dead ends, they're turning points.